How to develop your project management career. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management specialist. I help professionals to become successful project managers. How do I do that? Well, I help those professionals, if they are already working with project management, to develop their skills in practice. For example, if you are working as a project coordinator and you have a challenge there because with your project because you're not sure how to run a risk management process, what's the best way to organize it, how to report back to your management. I work with those people to make sure that they understand how the process should work and also they can practice it. Then we work together to develop their skills so when they go to their company, they can show how they organize the process. They can prepare their presentations and reporting to their management to make sure that they can convey the right message. Or I can help them to prepare a CV to make sure that they get an interview. I help them to prepare for an interview and so on. So those are types of things that I do to help people to be successful project managers. Before I forget, this content here is part of the warm-up for the Project Management Summit. The Project Management Summit is an event where I'm going to make 4 classes teaching you how to improve your skills in project management and how to improve your career in project management. The event is free. The only thing that you need to do here is go in the link and subscribe. Again, everything is free, everything is on me. The only thing is the content will be available only during that week. During that week, I'm going to release the 4 classes. I'm going to release extra material to help you to develop, and of course you can ask as many questions that you want, but that will be only for that week. So make sure that you book time in your agenda and you don't miss it. And of course, don't forget to like this video here because then more people can learn about project management, more people can learn about how to develop their careers into project management. Also, you help the social media to deliver this content for more people and help me to understand the value that this content has for you there. So this is very important. Please give me some feedback and help me to improve moving forward. So let's talk about how to develop a career in project management. Of course, depending when you are in your journey, your steps can be quite different. But what I'm going to talk with you today here is because I talk with a lot of people maybe on Instagram, sometimes on the WhatsApp, in these events that I do, and also in my professional life. And I noticed that a lot of people they get paralyzed because they don't know what to do. So it's kind of say, I want to work with project management or I want to change my career from whatever I'm doing to project management. And they don't know what they do. Or sometimes people they say, I just did a master in project management, but I do not know what to do next. Which by the way, it's a pity. Because if you do a master in project management, you end up not understanding how you can develop a career with that. And sometimes I talk with people, they even don't have the foundational project management knowledge. So just here, before we talk about if you are going for doing a master in project management, make sure that at least that you select something that you are sure that can help you into your career. Because if you do a 2-year degree and in the end you don't know how to use project management, you don't know how to progress with your career, that's a waste of your time and your money. So I do suggest you that you be careful with that. And of course, and I also talk with people that saying, I did a project management training, but I also don't know what to do. Like I did a Google project management training just because it's from Google. Yeah, I can tell you, just because there's a name Google there in your CV, that does not help you to move forward with your career. So what to do in those situations? And maybe sometimes I talk with people, I'm working in the PMO office. What should I do next? How can I develop my career? Right now, I'm also mentoring a person that she's working in the project as a project management officer in their support, so supporting general documentation from project management, reporting, keeping baselines, and so on. And I'm mentoring and coaching her to develop her project management skills. And what is the thing I noticing in all those examples that I just mentioned to you, from the person that's want to change to project management, from the person that's from a master, from the person that did a training, or for the person that's already in the early stage of their career, but they do not know how to progress there. Something that you need to realize that if you are lost, and then it's common that sometimes you say, I don't know what to do, then you do not do anything, you stay paralyzed. But that's the worst thing that you can do. And I'm going to explain you that. But I want to make an analogy first here. So let me see here. Let me show you. And I'm not sure if, I guess most of people at least have some experience in driving. I'm not sure if you ever drove your car in the road at night. Let me show you what I mean. Here you can see just a picture, random picture of a car driving the road at night. If you're riding in the road at night, you don't see the full road. You do not see your next step. You don't see what's going to happen in 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. So how do you go from one city to another, and how do you keep driving? Well, you need to identify what's your next step. In the case of the car, you have the lighting that gives you a view of, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 meters. And what do? Well, based on the view that you have, this short-term view, that's 100, 200 kilometers, you drive. Then after 200 meters, after you drive 200 meters, what happens? The light will point it out the next 200 meters. And then you go doing that. And you can drive thousands of kilometers without knowing exactly what's going to happen in 4 and 5 kilometers and 6 kilometers. Why I'm giving this example? Because if you want to start your career with project management, you don't need to have the full picture there right now. It's nice that you have a goal, like if you are driving a car, for example, you say, I'm driving a car from Amsterdam to Paris, for example. You are doing that at night. Well, you know where you want to be. You want to go to Paris. You do not know all the steps that are going to be in the journey. It's night. You don't know also all the conditions. But since you know where you're going to go, as long as you are kind of going the right direction, once you start to take action, so once you start to drive your car, you're going to see what's next. And you keep going. What's next? And you move for the next one. What's next? When you move to the next one. And this might seem very simple, but there's a lot of people feeling this paralyzed. They get paralyzed without knowing what to do. And in this example here, I'm making an analogy, but I'm also going to put you an example of a project. For example, if you are working in a project that's a product development project, physical product development, not a software, for example. It could be even a software, but I want to use something physical. Let's say that you are developing a product to go for a car. Why a car? Because everyone knows what's a car. That's very simple and I think very concrete. And if you are working in a product development to develop a product that you're going to put in a car, let's put it like a tire. And there's a qualification process, meaning that during the qualification process, you want to understand if the tire is good enough and will withstand all the specification. Usually, if you have a good tire and that's new, it should last, I don't know, at least 40,000 kilometers. And depending on the tire, you can say the driving conditions much more, but I also not a tire specialist, so forgive me if you know that's more, and that was not my intent. It's just a random example. Then you put this into qualification, and there's a failure in what you are doing there to develop this tire. So you face the situation again. I have a failure. What should I do next? That's also the basics of problem solving. Well, if you say that I don't know what to do and you don't do anything, that will not help you. So what do you do in a case that you have a product failing, a tire that's failing, one of the qualifications tests? Well, you say, I don't know what's going on there. So I need to find what's my root cause. What do you do then? Say, okay, let's take the first step. Let's make a visual inspection. And then you do a visual inspection. Oh, with the visual inspection, I was not able to conclude anything. Everything was good. And maybe you decide to do, I don't know, an X-ray. I do not know even if an X-ray for a tire makes sense, by the way. Just random example. You're going to say, okay, in the X-ray I can see something. So let's investigate the kind of compound that we put in then every step that you take, it gives you a bit more information from what direction that you should do. Or even though if you say, I did not find anything, you say, okay, then I'm going to do the next step, which is the X-ray. And why I'm giving you this example, that is basically problem solving, which is, by the way, it's one of the most critical skills that you can have as a project manager to understand how you can organize and how you can drive problem solving to your organization there. So that's the same thing for your career. You don't need to know everything. You need to set a goal, maybe create a vision, 5-year vision there. And then of course, you are going to break down this vision in some actions that you think it makes sense to do this year. And this year, you're going to break down those actions that you think it makes sense, that some actions that you can execute this week. And why I'm saying that a lot of people, they just are paralyzed. I talk with those people all the time. For example, even this week, someone told me, I want to move to project management. This person was already working, I think, with project management in telecommunications and wants to move for project management in IT. And then I ask, okay, do you know, are you trying to apply for a position? And the person answered me, no. Do you know what are the requirements to be a project manager in IT? And the person just answered me, no. Then I just reply to him, say, well, just go and find out the requirements. The way you can do that, open LinkedIn, check the requirements there, and you're going to see what kind of requirements, how they match your profile, and then you start to understand what chances that you have. And of course, after that, you're going to take the next step. The same analogy of the car here. And this person was looking, but can you not help me? That's the problem. Say, you want to, going back to analogy of our car here. You have a car, you want to drive from Amsterdam to Paris at night, and you don't know everything, you just know a bit your destination and maybe some checkpoints that you can make there. And I'm telling the guy, okay, so jump in your car and start driving. And the person saying, no, I don't want to drive. And here, that's where the problem starts. No one will take responsibility for your career. The only person responsible for your own career, it's you. So if you do not take the ownership for your career, if you do not take the actions to develop your career, if you do not take the actions to develop yourself, no one will do that for you. Stop waiting. And why I'm bringing this example and I'm making the analogy of the car? Because I know that people are saying, but I don't know what to do. Well, what's the first step if you want to work with project management? And I'm telling you right now what you should do. And you go to LinkedIn, you find some positions in project management that you say, oh, this is a position I'm interested in, and you start to look with their requirements. And why I'm saying that to you, and why I'm not telling you the requirements right away? Well, because I can tell you as much as I want, and I can tell you and I can show you that if you want to work as a project, if you want to start working as a project manager, first of all, you don't need a certification. You don't need project management experience, and sometimes you don't need experience at all. And every time I'm saying that, I get a lot of people, yeah, but that certification, that helps. Yes, a certification, it's nice. Is it a requirement? No, because a company will not hire a project manager because he or she has a certification. A certification might be that in some situations, for a senior project manager position, they eliminate people there from that position. Yes, but it's not the case for an entry-level position. And does not matter how much I say it, and does not matter if I show to you, there are still people, they don't believe me. And that's why I'm telling you that's something that first, it helps you if you develop this idea or this mindset, say, I don't know what to do. That's fine. What's the first step I can take to gain some clarity? What's the first step that will help me to see the next 200 meters in the road? Take this step. Same thing that I mentioned for the problem solving. After you're there, you think about what's the next step I need to take it. And of course, those steps, they need to be aligned with your goal there, because there's something that I commonly see people telling me, I want to work with project management. And they start to look for positions everywhere. And I've seen people say, they start saying, but I want to work. And I get it that you need to work. It's not a bad thing. But if you're telling me that your goal is to work as a project manager and you are applying for positions, I don't know, to be in operations, I'm not saying that's bad or anything. And I fully understand that you need to work, you need to make the money, because you also need to support yourself, or maybe sometimes you have a family. But if you need to work because you need the money, also make sure that you have the focus to keep looking for what you want. Otherwise, you are never going to achieve this goal. And then people do different stuff and they don't believe it on that, which a lot of times I think it's a waste. Sometimes people even pay me to tell them which direction to go, and they say I want to do something in my own way. Then I keep thinking myself, okay, so why are you paying me to share my experience? And if you think you know better, of course you can do it by yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. But if you're saying, by myself I'm not getting where I want to be, so you start to look for someone that has the experience and can help you in this journey. But then you are not humble enough at least to listen what's being said to you, and you don't want to move forward. This is a complete waste of time. And just because I mentioned about the certifications, I want to show you. So what I'm going to do it now, it's a very simple exercise. If you are looking to start, I just put in Google here, on LinkedIn, project coordinator, United Kingdom. Let's look for this position. By the way, I did not check up front. Here's what you need for this position, this project coordinator here. Then here you need an engineering degree or business management discipline. Here is saying that you need a certification or equivalent. So in this case, there's a requirement. And basically that's it. No other hard requirement here. But you see, APQM, if I would not have a certification and I would like to go for this position, I would apply anyway. So let's look for another one. Communication qualifications. Have a degree, recognized degree, process electrical. So if you have I guess this is a technical position, that's why they're asking for a degree. They say that I want you to have proven experience on this. They do not say how many years or anything else. And then they ask someone from experience about software. Let's take a look on that one. Again, I'm just looking for random positions as you would do it yourself. Why? Because I want to show you how to do it. Here's the one. What you need to succeed. You have previous experience on similar role. What's that? For me, that's not a hard requirement. And that's also not a lot of descriptions, just saying that you're going to be planning project coordinator. So even if you don't have experience, I would apply anyway. Another project coordinator position. And it's saying a lot what you need to do. Then you get here, demonstrate strong communication skills and blah blah blah. Don't like this, the way they show this one. Let's try this one, project coordinator. Not easy to find the requirements. Let me move on next one. Your new role, what you need to succeed. It's just someone who can proactively work and not a friend. So you see here, experience in managing budgets and reporting. Well, if you have experience in reporting budget, you can do that. Like if you are working right now as an accounting, as any finance department of a company, that's something that you can go here. But you see, there is no requirement for certification, any specific training that they are saying here. And why I'm showing you that? Because again, you don't need a certification. It's nice to have a certification, it is. But if we go for the position, I think that that one that they were talking about certification. No, that was not one. I already lost the position. And they're here they talk about experience. Maybe this one that. Here's asking experience, but does not mention any certification. Minimum qualifications again. No certification. No, it's asking basically that you know how to use Excel and have ERP experience like SAP. So, and of course, this is a very short exercise, but why I'm doing that? That's the first thing that you should do. That's the first step, and that helps you to give clarity, because what I'm trying to teach you here is how the process. That's how you're going to move into your career. Because if you're going to start with something, that's how you start. And let me see that if you're already working with that, then you can look for other requirements. Like if you want to be a project manager, let's not find assistant project manager. That can be also an entry level position. And okay, if you're working for they want something that has a certification for this position or a recognized qualification. You can always argue what's other recognized qualification. But what's important in everything that you're doing here? So let's come back from this step. It's important that first, if you do not know which direction you need to follow, because at this point you don't have the clarity, it's important that you move one step ahead. Then once you go there, you identify the requirements for the position that you like, you have already one step more information. Then there you can look for your CV. The second step is look for those requirements, how they match my CV, where are the gaps. And then you go for a next step. And of course, there's other stuff that you can do in parallel. Yes, one other step that you can take. Well, you can try to build your project management network. How do you do that? Well, it can be very simple. How do you do that? You can start, you look for the Project Management Institute local chapter there, and you go for some of their events. You can try to work as a volunteer there. And there, I can tell you, sometimes there are free online events that you can attend. And yeah, networking online might be a bit different, but there's also an opportunity that you have. So whatever you want to do with your project management career, if you do not have clarity, you can take the next step. The next step might be as well say, well, I'm going to find someone that can help me in this journey. For example, I mentioned to you that I have mentoring programs, I have a development program for project manager, that some people, they say, I don't want to do everything by myself. Why? Because sometimes I'm struggling, I'm not sure, I'm feeling insecure, or I'm not sure how I'm being perceived, I need better feedback, I want to build my confidence to present to the management, and so on. So that might be the next step that you're going to take, help you to achieve a goal in this year. That the goal this year should help you to achieve your 5-year vision and so on. But more you think about that you don't know what to do and you do not do anything, that you're not helping yourself in this journey. And there's a very nice example from Rita Emmett. She has a book. The way I got to know her and a bit of her work was in a training I did about how to improve my productivity, and of course how to fight procrastination, this kind of stuff. And why I'm saying you that, because everybody has things that they need to improve, and everybody procrastinates from one time to another. So if you're saying, oh, but I procrastinate this, I procrastinate, it's okay. Nobody's perfect. Some days you're going to procrastinate. But if you want to be a successful person, you cannot you cannot allow that you're going to procrastinate in most of days, because if you procrastinate in most of the days, you're not going to get any results. But if sometimes in your journey you are doing well and you are taking the actions and sometimes you procrastinate, it's fine, it happens with everybody, then you just need to get back on track. But what this person says here, she has a book, but what's the idea of the book or around it that I want to share with you? That usually people takes more time and more energy just thinking about it, of the dread of doing something, like, oh, I want to work with project management, but it's difficult. I think they might require experience, they might require certification, I'm not sure if I'm qualified, I don't have a good... They think about in all those kinds of reasons that you keep overthinking, and that does not help. And that's why I put again in the analogy of the car. Instead of keeping overthinking, oh, I need to have a PMP, or I need to have a Prince 2, or whatever certification you're thinking about, I need to have a master, I need to have 10 years of experience. Instead of creating a big list of things why you cannot do something, let's check the facts. That's why I also connect this with problem solving. What are the facts that we have on the table? And I presented to you some things here on LinkedIn, but I'm challenging you, I'm telling you, go find things for yourself. And this is a very powerful advice that if you have there, that will help you, I think, with everything. You don't need to believe everything people are telling you, but if you have the power, say, okay, I'm going to investigate this by myself, then I can take my own conclusion. That's very powerful what you can do there. And in this case, this information, it's available. It's kind of organized on LinkedIn. Okay, maybe it's not the organization that you would like to have all this kind of analysis, but the information is there. So take your first step. Stop wasting most of your time and energy thinking, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Finding difference, people will not like my profile, I need to have a certification, I need to be Prince 2, PMT, PSM, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, and whatever time you can think about it. As I already mentioned, yes, for some positions that will be a requirement. Mainly if you start looking for senior project manager positions, depending on the type of industry, yeah, that's nice. Then you start to build up a bit your profile to have strong certifications there. But I can tell you, a lot of companies, they hire senior engineers that they don't have certifications. A lot of times they see that as a nice to have. Why? Because a certification does not guarantee that this person is capable, that this person is a high-performing person, that this person can be a successful project manager. A certification guarantees that this person has had a minimum training and had a minimum set of knowledge to pass an exam, to pass a test. But if in practice this person is going to perform or not, that's a completely different discussion. That's why go and take your next step. Thinking about here, if you're driving a car at night, you don't need to see the full road for your 5-year vision. You need to see your next step, and you need to execute your next step. Hopefully in this next step you gain a bit more clarity, and then you go for the next one. You go for the next one. Once you realize it, you are going to reach your destination. As long as you keep moving, as long as you keep taking the actions there. But if you keep sitting there thinking, oh, as I mentioned for the guy that asked me about IT project manager, I want to be an IT project manager. I told him, go and check the requirements. And then he answered, can you not do that for me? Well, there's a lot of conclusions I can take from this one. First, I would never hire a project manager with this kind of mindset. Because a project manager, he or she needs to be proactive. He or she needs to have this sense of ownership. And come on, if you do not have even the sense of ownership of your own life, how are you going to execute a project? This is going to be the type of, if you have this mindset, you're going to sit there as a type of project manager, your project starts going to fail. And what you're going to do, you're going to find all types of people to blame, to say why your project's not working. Oh, someone did not do that. I asked someone to do that and they did not do that. I was waiting for the information, but no one ever told me that. Stopping being the victim. Stop with this mindset that everything is happening, you don't have control, and you cannot do anything about that. Start realizing that you don't have control about most things in your life. The only things that you are going to have control, really that you can control, is your mindset, so what you think and how you act. And I can tell you that sometimes, depending on the situation, not even your body, you're not going to be able to control it. So taking the right initiative there is key if you want to succeed in your career. Understanding that you don't need to know everything that's going to happen in the road, but you need to start to drive. Because if you stay, this analogy with the car, if you stay inside of the car thinking about, oh, but what's going to happen in the road, might be a roadblock, might be an accident, oh, might be too dark, yeah, you can sit in your car and thinking about all the possibilities, what can happen in the road, and all the possibilities, and keep thinking, oh, maybe I should go take left or take right. But in reality, is if you don't move, nothing is going to happen. And you can sit there and thinking about your entire life. And if you keep doing that for your entire life, I can tell you your life will pass by and nothing is going to happen. So, to wrap up here and to make it a conclusion, take your next step, move forward. And if you do not know your next step, I already mentioned few of your next step here. Look in your LinkedIn job requirements from some things that you are interested in. Check those job requirements, your profile, to see how they match your profile. Find help. You don't need to do everything by yourself. You can find a mentor, you can enter a development program. That's a way to find help. Start to develop your project management network. That's free. You can connect with people, you can talk with people, you can go to free events, because I realize that people might use money as a roadblock there. So find free events and go to the free events. Start to grow your connections. All those things are steps that are going to help you in clarify your journey. More steps you take, faster is that you're going to get your destinations. As long as, of course, you make sure that at least nothing will be perfect, but you taking the steps in the right direction. Because if you keep telling that you want to work with project management, but you are just applying for positions, for example, in the operational area, so you're not going to be a project manager. That's not helping you. You're moving to the wrong direction there. So a very important step here. And it's very important that you understand that, to stop struggling. And I want to help you in this journey. But you need to take these steps. And that's also even what I do when I'm working as a mentor in my development programs. I start to point out these steps. But if people, they don't want to take it, if people don't want to drive the car, there's nothing that me or anything else in your life can do it. If you do not want to take these steps to progress in your own life, then nobody can help you. Everybody can point it out the direction, everybody can help with the lighting the path, but you need to go through the path yourself. So that's very important here. Two things before we close. Make sure you like this video and share with other people so they also understand how they can progress in their career. Make sure that if what I'm telling you makes sense, write down in the comments, I got it, agree, makes sense. Why? Because it helps me to confirm that my message was received to you, and that's very important when you are talking about communication. Another tip here about project management. Every time you communicate with something, make sure that you ask confirmation to see if your message is received. So that's what I'm trying to do here with you. Confirm if what I'm saying to you, it makes sense and the message is received. Also, don't forget to follow me. Every week I'm releasing more content. I'm also have an Instagram page where I release daily smaller contents that you can fully digest. I also have a Q&A box open every day where you can ask questions, and feel free to reach out. If your goal is to develop your project management skills, my goal is to support you in this journey. And before I forget, don't forget to subscribe for the PM Summit. Free event, 4 sessions with more content, exercise that you can do, extra material to help you in this journey. The only thing that you need to do here is subscribe, and I see you there. Thank you and bye.